What's going on, everybody? I'm Marcus, and this is Real Unapologetic. Today, we will discuss the debacle known as Masters of the Universe Revelations. And what the hell happened to the Suicide Squad? My friend Dave is along for the ride. So with that said, let's get it. A lot of things, some things we don't. This is one of those opportunities where we don't agree. Going to bring David on now, and we're going to break this thing down. And if you guys like and subscribe, I would appreciate it. And without further ado, Dave.
Marcus, thanks for having me on, man. Good to see you face to face. We don't get to do that as much as we used to. And we have known each other for quite a while. And you're right, there is a lot we agree on, but occasionally we disagree. And this is one of those times, and that's okay.
Oh yeah, it's definitely cool. I want to also state at the top, if you're one of those folks that like Masters of the Universe, that is completely okay. That is completely fine. I wish I could join you in loving it. I just couldn't. I couldn't. I wish I could join you. So please don't dox me too hard in the comments, guys. If you love it, cool. I, on the other hand, have a differing opinion. Dave is here. He's going to be bringing up some points that you guys are probably going to agree with. So if you guys didn't like Masters of the Universe, please don't dox Dave. All right. All right. Now, with that said, Dave, I had high hopes for this show. Mm-hmm. I go back to the original, the OG Masters of the Universe, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, back when that kind of stuff was allowed.
Man, I'm older than you are. I remember.
So, I had the toys. I remember they came on after school, having to, get off the bus. Yes, we called buses back then. And I'd run in, after taking care of my brother, making sure he was a little bit younger than me, making sure he was cool, getting him set up for, if he needed something to eat or whatever, got him squared away. And then we'd sit down and watch. Mom will be, busy doing things. So, it left up to me to take care of those little small things while she was cooking or whatever. So then we'd sit down and watch the show. But anyway, that was one of the happier moments in my childhood, watching Masters of the Universe, pretending I had the power.
Yeah. I think I might have only gotten like one of the toys. I had friends that had them, and I was definitely a little bit jealous that they got to have more of those toys than I did. Some of them were the toys actually did a really good job of illustrating the ridiculousness of the size of the characters, like how big He-Man was, and like the guy with the head that would swivel around. I mean, it was a Beastman or a Beastman toy.
Yes.
So there was a lot that was the toys did a really good job of illustrating what was in the cartoon. So
Mr. 2% body fat also. I mean, those guys, they didn't have a shred of fat on them at all.
No, they were the guys from 300 before 300.
Yeah, man. So, that was one of the reasons why I had such high hope. And I'll be honest with you, I was a Kevin Smith fan.
Yeah.
I enjoyed some of the things. He struck me as one of the guys that were like me. He wasn't up there in the ivory tower preaching down to us, telling us what we should like and what we don't like and all this other stuff. He was in the fight with us, in the trenches, if you will. And so I had high hopes that this show was going to be, I get it, they can't replicate 100% what it was back in the 80s. I get that. So I'm not naive to that. And I get that they're trying to play to another audience, a newer audience, a younger audience. So I get that. But to me, it also makes financial sense to play to the crowd that's a little bit older, that has the money. That is the moms. That is the dads. Who's going to be buying $70 toys? It's probably going to be like me buying them for my nephew.
Right.
So it makes financial sense to maybe just keep me in mind when you're making the subject matter.
All right. So just so everybody knows, the reason why this whole thing started is one day I was off and I decided I was going to go ahead and watch it. And when I got done, because you and I talk about these things, I texted you and I said, hey, Masters of the Universe Revelation, it wasn't too bad. You immediately went off on a text rant about how bad you thought it was.
I did.
And I was just like, I was a little taken aback.
My apologies for that.
I was a little taken aback because I was expecting
that just to let you know how. No, that was just to let you know how disappointed I was in it. I was like, man, I got kicked in my twig and berries, man. That's what it felt like.
Right.
I mean, first point. Let's just go ahead and just get the elephant out of the room. Yep. Masters of the Universe was fundamentally a good versus evil, led by He-Man, with partnerships with Teela, Man-at-Arms, the Sorceress, Orko, the whole gambit.
Right.
Against Skeletor, Evelyn, Beastman, Triclops, and his cabal. But good would always triumph over evil, right? That was the plot. So it was a more naive time back then in the 80s, but I digress. This show here, He-Man was barely in the first episode. If you take out the part where Faker, which is not He-Man,
right,
suckered the Sorceress, which I find that hard to believe. The Sorceress is one of the most smart, intelligent characters, period. Besides the fact that if she was a woman or not, the fact that she was just she was responsible for protecting Adam's secret and the entire planet in conjunction with He-Man. For her to fall for Faker, that just struck me as, how are you gonna disrespect women in that way? To me, that seems like that was major disrespectful of a character that has been canon-wise brilliant. They dumbed her down in order to allow Skeletor to have interest into Cascresco. So once again, no He-Man.
Right.
Then we switch to Teela at the palace. She's apparently off screen throughout the 30 years. According to Kevin Smith, this was a sequel, but apparently she's done enough to be appointed Man-at-Arms. We haven't seen that, but that's what the story tells us, that she is being appointed to Man-at-Arms, which is cool. All right, great. She's going to be responsible for being the king's number one. Adam seemed a bit weak to me, but he gets summoned, goes there. He-Man shows up. He's literally fighting Skeletor. I didn't clock it. I should have went back and clocked it. It was about, I would estimate, 5-6 minutes he was in it. Most of that trailer footage, when they were showing us trailers of He-Man fighting, that was it. That was all it. That was it. And then, spoiler, and listen, no, guys, if y'all haven't watched it by now, you're probably not intending on watching it, so I'm going to spoil it. He dies. Protecting the planet, protecting his loved ones, protecting his family. Eternia. And the first thing Teela does is gets back and makes it about her.
Okay.
I'm sorry, your job was appointed to be Man-at-Arms. I was in the military, so I get it. That's like if the chief of staff to the president or the head of the Secret Service, because the president did not, or the vice president did not tell him or her state secrets, then they just quit.
All right, so backing up just a little bit, because I don't want to forget this point. Right off the bat, you're like, this is He-Man. But I went and checked while you were on your little rant, and the name of the show is Masters of the Universe Revelation. Not He-Man Masters of the Universe, which is what the original show was called. So Touché. Technically, this is not necessarily a He-Man show. It's Masters of the Universe, which would include all those other characters. So there's that.
Yes.
I get the expectations are that there's going to be He-Man, and when he's not involved in it more, that can be disappointing, depending on what's going on, how much you're invested, etc., or even just expectations not being met.
Right.
I went into it expecting it to be bad, and so when it wasn't horrible, and if you take it as just the story as it is, and I'm not saying there's not flaws, obviously there's flaws, but if you go into it expecting it's horrible and you just kind of take it and go, okay, what's this story going to be? Oh crap, they killed He-Man. Okay, well, let me see where this goes. So I guess I was on more of a curiosity journey than
Gotcha.
you were as far as it goes. So, but I understand your consternation in, you know, Adam getting killed, and, you know, but I'm going to counter that with, how many shows have we seen? I mean, freaking Game of Thrones, Ned Stark getting his head chopped off. It changes everything. It makes the dynamic big. It creates new conflicts. It creates, you know, otherwise, what are they going to do new if it's still, I mean, if it's still the same battle, Skeletor versus He-Man, you know, there's no new story there.
Let me address one of your points.
Okay.
True enough, it is Masters of the Universe, right? Revelation. My first point would be, then why have He-Man in the trailer?
Oh, because they're not stupid.
Right. So they were trying to have it both ways, right?
Yeah,
They're
of
going
course.
to go, okay, well, we're going to use He-Man, the image of He-Man, to bring in Marcus.
Yeah.
And then we're going to set Marcus to the side, right? Which
Yeah.
is fine, okay? I would have been okay if they'd have just simply said, this is Teela's journey. Like, make this Teela, right? Don't even include He-Man in it. You know, write him in as the king. Adam has taken over.
Masters of the Universe, Teela's journey.
Or something, anything, right? Her path to becoming the sorceress, whatever, right? Sorry for spoiling. If you guys don't know that much, Teela is the daughter of the sorceress. So just letting that out the bag. But I would have rather, because I think I would have accepted that journey, you know, because I have no problem with the strong female lead. God, man, I'm all for it. One of my favorite movies was Wonder Woman. Right. So miss me with that, Marcus, you just don't like strong women in the lead role kind of thing. No, I'm against putting a woman in the strong lead point if you have to take the man out of the equation stupidly, right?
Right.
So now it goes. You know, that's my whole point. Hey, everybody, this is my dog Ghost. I'm going to give him a treat right now. Here, buddy. Here.
Enter the real star of the show.
Yes, the true star. Ghost is 3 years old, everybody. He is an all-white husky, segueing into Game of Thrones. Thank you, Dave, for that. Now, with Game of Thrones, Ned's death was earned, though. It wasn't in the first episode of Game of Thrones. It was it was the season ending part of Game of Thrones, right? So we had saw things that were gonna, man, Ned could die. Like, they had been preparing us a little bit, right? It still shocked us when he died, but that was one of the things that made that show so edgy and great. This show, 20 minutes in, they hadn't earned that. Kevin Smith hadn't earned that trust. None of the creators of this show had earned that trust to do that. Now, I'm going to take you back to Miss Michelle Gellar, who is the voice of Teela. She is on record saying that the Masters of the Universe in the 80s was basically dismissive to women. That was one of the most diverse staffs, gay people, people of color ever, right? Like, and they did not put Teela on a pedestal. They didn't, I don't know, let's see. They didn't make her strong at the expense of Adam, nor did they make Adam strong at the expense of Teela. It was a well-written show. To do it the way they did it, Teela seemed like an unlikable, excuse me, mom, bitch. That's what she came across to me as.
In the new show?
Yes.
Okay. So, to your point about the original show, it was called He-Man.
Correct. I get it. I get that part. I see that.
I mean, it's just the name of the show could be taken as fairly misogynistic, you know, being the focus of it. Just saying. It could be interpreted that way. Teela may have been stronger than other female characters in other shows, but she was, secondary character. So I think what Kevin Smith was trying to do with this new one is let's flip the script. Yeah, you had to kill He-Man to do it. How else do you get He-Man out of the way? Because he is a hero, and he proved to be a hero in this show, even after he died. Spoilers. So, he did, or at least Adam came back. Right. And, that's the other thing is in the original show, Adam was a weakling. He was this. His father never respected him or anything like that. We all knew because we were in on it. But, right. So this actually offered him, once he was dead, to earn some of that respect.
Okay.
Honestly, I mean, from those other dead heroes, they all respected him, and he, proved himself there. So, yeah, He-Man is out, but Adam got a little bit more character development, and obviously Teela did because she was the focus of the show.
Did he though?
I thought so.
Dude, my brother only had like 4 lines.
He had some action sequences. Other people spoke highly of him. We never got to see that much of Adam in the original one either.
I didn't think I was going to get to see that much of He-Man either, segueing into something. His transformation sequence. They had ass cheeks in that, man.
Yeah. Well.
Like, the hell, man.
Well, I guess it's not as maybe it's not of a woke show as we think it is.
Or it is.
Or too woke. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I'm an old white dude. I am not the person to ask about.
Oh yeah, woke. Yeah. Like, bro, you'd have been sidelined just like he, man.
Well,
you add no value to this new world.
No, absolutely not. No. To be fair, and Marcus knows this, I'm very much an ally of everybody who's not old white like myself. But
oh yeah, we're spitball each other here, guys. But look, we are allies. Right? We are allies. Yeah. Strong, absolutely. Fervent allies. Okay, so once again, we're this is in the context of the show.
Right.
Okay.
Right,
this
right.
is not talking politically speaking on marriage equality or any of those things that's currently going on in the United States and abroad. So this is isolated to the man of the Masters of the Universe show.
The He-Man?
The Teela and the others show. Right.
So I looked back at our conversation, and one of the things that you said was that you felt that Kevin Smith didn't like He-Man, and that's why he got rid of him.
Reason why I say that, and I still believe that, by the way.
Okay.
Now, based on comments that he has made that have followed, when he got the gig, he changed his tone. All right. Prior to that, he is on record saying he really didn't like He-Man. He wasn't the Masters of the Universe guy. He thought it was childish. It was for children. That's Kevin Smith on the record. Now, he gets a check, which I ain't mad at the man. I get it. He needed to earn a living. All right. So he changed his tune. If a Brinks truck of money gets backed up to my door, and they say, well, Marcus, listen, you got to say you like the Masters of the Universe show. I have to think about it, Dave. We'd be texting back and forth.
No, there wouldn't be any text. The only texting would be, "Yo, I just got paid." That's the text.
Right. So I get it. I get it. Right. So I don't. I'm holding it against him, yes, but only because of the treatment in which he did He-Man. That's the only reason why it's relevant to me.
Okay. Well, the only thing I'd like to say about that is, he may have said and I believe you when you said that he said that he didn't like He-Man and that he thought it was a childish show or a child show.
Mm-hmm.
He's not wrong. It was. You were a child when you watched it. Mm-hmm. It was a show for children. So technically it's true. Maybe it didn't connect with him when he was a child, because I know he's about the same age as I am. Okay, fine. Yeah. So I think the bigger thing here is a lot of times when something from our childhood is messed with, it can make us feel, upset. I don't want to say angry. I don't think you're like actually angry.
No. I put away my pitchforks and my flags from storming the Capitol.
Okay.
My bad. I digress.
Anyway, but yeah, I mean, I can understand where it can be upsetting, and which okay, I get upset about things too. So I guess I just understand. I think I understand that what he was probably trying to do is write no. I was going to say write an original story, which is hard with all of that He-Man content that was already out there. To do something new with that, what do you do new with Skeletor and He-Man? The only thing new done with Skeletor was whoever did the
Mark Hamill.
Well, no. I'm not saying that. A little while back there was something where God, I can't remember who it was, but they were like they used Skeletor in a funny way. That's something new with Skeletor. I love Mark Hamill and every voiceover thing he does. He was the consummate Joker. When it comes to animation, he is amazing, and I think he did a good job with Skeletor. That would be my biggest regret, is that he didn't have more to do, because he is so good in that. But my point being is, I think Kevin Smith was trying to do an original story with these characters, and that's very hard to do if you're still trying to play the He-Man Skeletor card.
Which, once again, go back, just call it a Teela show.
You know what? That's fair.
That way you can have them. You could do a flashback to an epic. I'm spitballing here. You can flashback to an epic He-Man Skeletor fight. You don't have to show that in the first episode. You could write the story around Teela as she's helping trying to pick up the pieces in a leadership role by being loyal to the king and queen that helped raise her.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that been a better story to show, and show that, wow, she earned that man-at-arms mantle? And then we could show, eventually lead into the fight, the epic fight. You could show the repercussions of how the king and queen are now. Once the king, who was so cold to Adam at times, you could show all of that without having to just stick it to He-Man the way that he did.
Those are fair.
I'm a guy. I am not a screenwriter. I just created this on the fly with no money. If you're telling me millions of dollars gets passed to me, I would create that story, or a better one than what Kevin Smith did, or his acolytes and sycophants that did.
Okay, so
and one more time, where were the women in the writing room? There were no women in that writing room.
I have no idea.
For Miss Sarah, I know for a fact that there were one black dude and two white dudes.
Okay,
those were in the writing room. No females are in there. The old 80s show had countless women in there. We had female directors, which was unheard of in the 80s. Okay. So for the people that were saying that this show with the blonde, blue-haired white guy was just terrible to women, for that crowd, he employed a lot of women. And now this new version with Teela being the star, we can't even get a female writer.
All very good points, man. What I will say.
Just saying.
So here's what I'll say. You asked why have He-Man out there? Why have that part of the advertising? Why do that? I'm going to go cynical now, and also I think true here, in that they wanted to make the advertising effective and get everybody possible that they could. And the way they do that is they have He-Man in the promos and they show the stuff.
Oh, my brother. You know what it is.
I said
you know what it is. It is that. 1,000%. But it's also, they got to sell them damn toys, my brother.
Oh, yeah. Well, and
we got to sell them toys. And you ain't selling you're not selling the Masters of the Universe toys to the levels in which you think you should sell them to without He-Man and Skeletor in the mix.
Well, and we also don't know, or at least I don't know, because I honestly, I mean, I know we were going to talk about this, but I did not do a ton of research before we did this. We don't know how much the studio, or, you know, it was at Netflix, right?
Yeah, Netflix had it in association with Mattel.
Right. So we don't know how much Netflix and or Mattel said, okay, you have to have this, you have to have this in there. Okay, we understand you want to do this story, but these elements have to be in there, and or, you know, as far as the advertising, who made those decisions? It might not have been Kevin Smith. I don't know. It could have been.
Yeah. No. Kevin Smith would not be making the decisions on what commercials are being cut. That's your marketing department. You know, I'm sure he would say, listen, don't put this in there to spoil the story. But
right, sure, of course.
But he still we got to pump up interest, right?
Right.
So that's the marketing department. Now, addressing Netflix, I am sure they probably have some mandates in there. These, you know, you got to have this amount of Black characters, this amount of XYZ characters, and so forth. I get it. But there's a way that you can freaking do it, boy, man. Come on, man. There's a way you can do it. You don't have to, they can earn their spot on the show. It's called writing and earn your paycheck. I know it's hard. I get it. Doing original content and stuff like that. When Masters of the Universe is all this lore. So I get the easiest answer is just chop them off at the knees and then start anew. But I think you could still, I'm sounding like I'm regurgitating myself, but I think you could have done it with just making it Teela and her journey toward being the sorceress. Because you're still hitting on the nostalgia of the people that remember that about Teela, and then we never got that thread closed.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't disagree. You're bringing me along for the ride, you know, and I'm going cool. Now I'm rooting for Teela. All right, let's get this done. Instead, now I'm feeling like, that's where I'm at. So, but you know, I think we beat that segment up pretty good. Do you have anything else you want to add to it?
No. Just remember, when it comes to it, it's all cynical stuff when it comes to marketing.
Oh yeah. I will go into this though before we leave it completely behind. Do you have any interest in seeing the second season? And I would say the next 5. I don't see how 5 episodes is a season. We got to Netflix. We really got to stop that, bro.
I think they should go with the British terminology of a series, or I think they call it a series. Yeah, it's not a season, but
wait, don't answer that just yet. Let me rewind it back. Would it have been better if they'd have just dropped all 10?
Oh,
instead of chopping it the way that they did.
Yeah, because they could have. If that
you
was,
think it would have maybe some of the pushback that they've been getting that might have been lessened if people would have saw the whole thing in totality?
Well, it depends on what's in the rest of it, but you know, if they had done all 10, or if they knew that they were going to do all 10 right up, you know, they could have paced the story differently, and it could have done more with what you were hoping. So, look, I'm. There's a thing where it's I can't remember what it's called, but basically where you keep investing in something even though you know you're not getting good returns, but you keep doing it because you think eventually you will. I'm not actually invested in this, but I spent an hour and a half or however long it was to watch it. I'm sure I'll be bored one day. There'll be nothing else to watch, and I'll watch the next 5.
Yeah, I think the term we use in poker is pot committed.
Right. Yeah. So, it's better to just cut your losses. But there's potential downside, like if it's really, really horrible, but I don't think it'll be really, really horrible. So yeah, I'll watch it.
I wonder how many writers and animators are on oxygen mask right now. So no, sorry with the COVID situation, but I'm talking about it. They're getting overworked right now, reworking that script a little bit because they have gotten massive blowback. I get that there's a huge disparity between what the critics think about this and the actual diehards, right? Last time I checked, it was like 32-33% on Rotten Tomatoes versus like 94 and 95 from critics.
Yeah.
So, you know, for whatever that's worth. But because I could care less what a critic says. That's like polling. So
yeah, it doesn't really mean anything.
No. So I to me, I think that they should have just dropped the whole 10. You know, because I can't see how it's worth it for Netflix right now, because what you're doing is in that gap, people are filling that void with all their speculations, all their negativity in certain cases. The other people like Kevin Smith, he's moved on. He's doing Clerks 3. So there's a huge vacuum of just people just bashing the crap out of this show, man. And so I don't know if it was worth their while to do it the way that they're doing it. Maybe they had to rethink it. But that's fine, and
they're pot committed.
They are pot committed. Now, segueing into companies with questionable decisions, Suicide Squad.
Yes.
About less than $27 million at the box office.
Well,
and almost 200 million, over 250 million when you count in marketing invested in this movie. Ooh.
Yeah. So when you get James Gunn and you basically ask him to do recreate Guardians of the Galaxy with DC, he's going to do that, but honestly, the characters are not as good as the characters in Guardians. They're not. And so I think he did the best that he could, but it's Guardians light at best. And so that, you know, it was better than the first Suicide Squad. Let's put it that way.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you know, I didn't hate the first Suicide Squad.
I didn't either.
It just wasn't very good. But with that said, though, this one I actually enjoyed this one.
I did
immensely. I thought it was one of those movies that I was like, wow, man, you know, this thing will make some money. That's what I thought. And I'm still in my mind and my heart, I think it deserved to make some money. I think a couple of things killed this movie. And I'm sure Warner Brothers will do their autopsy. But they've been doing autopsies for the past almost 8-9 years now. So I don't know what's going to come of it. But I think the first foremost thing is I put less on COVID than some people. I think it factored in. How much? Yeah. We don't know. But I think it factored in, but I don't think it was the paramount reason. I think one of the first things was it was streaming simultaneously on HBO Max, which that's gotta cut it to the people that's gonna go to the theater. I mean, you're giving people an easy excuse not to go see your movie. Like, hey, do you want to go to the movie and pay $16-17 and then get some popcorn and now a drink and a hot dog and you're out of $60? Take a girl with you. You're close to $100, man.
Well,
or you sit on the couch and watch the bloody movie.
Yeah. Well, for free if you have HBO Max.
Right. Right. So
for example, like it or hate it, you know, so I went and saw Black Widow in the theaters with my wife, and I also purchased it on Disney Plus so that I could watch it again soon. Even though I know that eventually it's right. I mean, I know eventually, but that's no different than if I went and saw it in the theater again. Except now, so what I did is I gave him my money, and then I gave him a little bit more money, but now I get to watch it more times.
Yes.
So I get more for my money, but they got my money. Yes. Suicide Squad didn't get my money.
Right.
And
didn't get mine either, because I watched it on HBO Max.
Yeah, and so they're not going to. You know, Disney Plus and I love so much of what Disney Plus does, with the Marvel stuff and other stuff. But even if you don't like the fact that they're charging you for that early access, premium access, that's a smart business model.
Yes, it does.
And so
yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I don't begrudge them that. And if it's something that I'm willing to pay for, then I pay for it. That's my decision. Awesome. HBO Max simply took that off the table and they went, no, here it is for free. And I'm going to go, okay, great. Well, then I'm not going to go to the theater and see it. Correct. Why would I?
Yeah, that to me is the paramount reason, more so than James Gunn with him trying to redo Guardians of the Galaxy 2.5 or whatever. I think the R rating hurt it.
Yeah, probably.
That's just a known quantity that R-rated movies tend to perform a little bit less. You have your outliers, your Jokers and things like in Deadpool, but by and large, it's gonna be a little lower.
Yeah.
And so you have that point, and then finally, I think you got the Warner Brothers factor, man. They have not told a coherent narrative for their content, while Marvel's been putting out stuff where you feel obligated to go see that next Marvel movie.
Yes.
Because you might miss something, like, how does this connect? How does this connect to Kang? What about, is it Ultron coming back? How does that connect into this? Right?
Well, they started that all years ago. They're like, they even said it's all connected. Like They told you right up front, you're going to have to watch everything because it's all connected. And so you're like, okay, I guess I got to watch everything.
Yeah, I mean, you literally have to, right? So, like, and HBO, they haven't gotten the memo.
No,
they're doing this disjointed. Well, this is technically not Suicide Squad sequel. We put "the" in the title, so they're not connected. But even though we got some of the same characters from the other one.
But it's also a sequel because some of those characters are now, further along in the story. Let's face it, Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn was the best part of either of the Suicide Squad movies, and not just because it's Margot Robbie, but
that is the future wife.
She
does no wrong ever.
Right. But also because of how well she plays the character.
I mean, she was excellent in it. Always excellent. But yeah, I think that those two bigger points are what the issue is with them, man. They just what stories are they trying to tell, and why should people care? And I don't think that movie got that across. I think the characters were
the first Wonder Woman was the only one that they hit it out of the park with. There are a couple other ones that were second tier. Aquaman, second tier. I would actually put the Suicide Squad most of that second tier. I mean, it's better than a lot of the other ones. But a lot of that is due to James Gunn bringing that action / comedy thing to it effectively. They tried to do it a little bit in the first Suicide Squad, and it failed miserably. Other than, like I said, the Margot Robbie and Boomerang.
Right.
But James Gunn did better conveying that Marvelness that DC's been lacking in this movie. And that's why they brought him in, because they said, hey, you've got this Marvel thing. Can you come do it for us? And he did.
Oh, yeah.
But,
Yeah, I mean, it is necessary. Competition is necessary. Competition is really good. It keeps Marvel having to push out good content, because that's one of the reasons why I'm rooting. Plus, I love Batman. Batman is my favorite character of all time. But I'm scared for this Robert Pattinson. Yeah, I'm scared about it because I'm scared. Even if it's a good movie, I don't know if the box office would be there.
Well, they've already said, they've already said that one's not canon.
Right. See, so you've got literally how many different Batmans are going to be floating around? So I guess they're going to do a multiverse thing within the Flash without calling it a multiverse. Well, Marvel's only dedicating 3 shows to it, several different movies to make sure people understand it. And what does Warner Brothers do? One movie. You better get it.
Yeah. Well, as you well know, Warner Brothers kills it in the animated side of things.
They do. They do
absolutely kill it
because they don't listen to the idiots that's running the movie side, the live action side. Hey, you guys, you don't come over here.
Right. Yeah.
They got like 2 bodyguards out front. Like, no.
Yeah, and setting aside Wonder Woman, they've not been able to do much good on the movie side. It's a sad truth. They probably don't care because people still pay to go see the movies.
I think what they did is they brought Patty Jenkins in to do the first Wonder Woman, and she was fresh off of her Oscar and stuff like that. So she has some clout, man, right? So in order to get her, they had to probably give her some assurances. Like, look, we ain't gonna meddle, we ain't gonna do X, Y, Z.
Right.
Well, that was that movie. Wonder Woman 2 comes out, she knocked it out of the park with that one. Here come the freaking bean counters.
Yeah,
same ones that screwed up the Justice League stuff. Here they come, with their higher than thou IQs and all their degrees in everything but movie production. I'm sure they can show me how to hide money, but
that's not how to make it.
But telling a coherent movie plot probably is not in their queue. So I don't know why they keep getting like seats at the table. Yeah, I know, but Marvel tried that crap with Kevin Feige, and Kevin Feige said, "No, I will leave."
Right. Well,
right. And Marvel went, my apologies, sir. we did not know the power that you possessed.
We humbly apologize. Please don't go anywhere.
Yeah. Because rumor was Star Wars wanted him.
Yeah.
So Marvel went, well, that's a whole nother. Star Wars, they definitely need him. But that's why Marvel said, okay, bring truck and creative control. And if you want us to only see you on Christmas Eve, that's fine.
Right. Well,
we will stay out of your hair. And that's what they do.
Well, and because of that, they get lots and lots and lots and lots of money.
Yeah.
So, what Kevin Feige gets paid is nothing compared to the amount of money. I mean, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But compared to the amount of money he makes them, it's not a lot of money. That's a investment well worth it. So.
Oh yeah. Ghost has just murdered all of his treats. It's literally just murdered. Okay, buddy, hold on.
He's like, I hear the crinkle of the bag.
Oh yeah. Go get it, buddy. There you go. Go get it. But yeah, that it's just remarkable watching the malpractice that is currently happening when you have Marvel. And I'm not saying Marvel doesn't get some things wrong, but by and large, they're hitting about 790, man.
Yeah, which
right.
If you're batting 400, you're doing good. And
right. Yeah, I mean, they're Hall of Fame like 3 times over.
Right.
Like, their TV shows are killing it. I have every confidence that this What If show that's going to drop in the morning is going to probably be excellent.
Yep. Yeah, looking forward to that.
So, I mean, it's like everything they touch is. I am sure Warner Brothers probably. I don't know how Marvel keeps their stuff secret. I'm sure they have to like sweep for bugs. Because I'm sure Warner Brothers has gotten like trying to get in there and go, how in the hell are they doing it, man? Like they're probably sending spies in. That's probably why they hired James Gunn. What can you tell us? What can you really tell us? We'll give you a movie and pay you handsomely for it. But really, what can you tell us? What's the secret? They don't listen to any of you.
That's probably what he probably told them that. They're like, nah.
Yeah, what does he know?
Yeah.
He's just he's this old unemployed director that we hired off the street. Right?
Yeah, right. Well, the good news is that James Gunn is coming back to the light side and for Guardians 3. So he gets to redeem himself. Not that he did I don't think he did a bad job with Suicide Squad, honestly. I thought it was pretty good. It was a James Gunn movie, as you would expect it to be, and I like James Gunn's movies, so I liked it. And I like the characters. I thought most of the actors did a really good job. Obviously Margot Robbie, as we mentioned. John Cena did. He was really good. Yeah, he was really good as Peacemaker.
Man, why are you wearing those tidy whities? Man, that's racist.
So it is a very violent comic book film.
Yes.
Like we were watching it, and my stepdaughter, who's 11, we were like, "Oh, it's a comic book film," and my wife is like doing this to her, and sort of like, "Don't look," when people are getting chopped in half and stuff like that. But all that said, I thought it was a decent story. I like the acting. It was well done. Why it's not making any money, I think we touched on that. It's a shame, but Gunn got paid, so I'm sure he's not worried about it.
Oh, no. And Idris Elba, who played Bloodsport, he's going to be in the Sonic 2 Hedgehog movie, so, he's still cashing checks. So, he's going to be Knuckles.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, for all the old folks that remember the Sega game and stuff like that, that's that brings back, that touches my soul. But so shout out to Idris, good job, man. Way to land on your feet. There was I thought all the actors did their parts excellently, man. I thought who was your favorite character of the crew?
Polka Dot Man.
Yeah. I'm torn.
I
liked him.
Depth.
Oh yeah, he did. He had freaking the Mariana Trench of depth, bro. Like to see his mom and all of his images, and that was clearly his motivation and what his hang-ups were.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm glad I don't have a mom complex. Love you, Mom. My favorite character is a toss-up, man. Honestly, I like Ratcatcher too. Okay. I thought she was just well acted and warm character, but I like the freaking rat, man. I like Sebastian.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Sebastian stole the show.
I mean, I have a cat, man. So for me to say that I like a rat, I might get my throat cut in my sleep, man. But
he was Sebastian was the baby Groot.
Yeah, well said. He was your baby Groot.
Yeah.
And he also saved Scott from the freaking quantum realm.
Right. So he's a multi-talented actor.
Yeah, man. Yeah. He's crossover appeal, man. But yeah, man, I thought you're right, man. There's the beat for beat, probably not exactly like Guardians, but as far as the framework, the character structure and stuff like that. James Gunn, I mean, the guy is an excellent director. I'm glad he's getting this opportunity to keep working, because I thought that was a little crazy that people were looking at your tweets from decades ago and
well, quick aside on that, without getting too deep into it, is if we don't allow people to grow, right? If we're just going to we're going to cancel them for something that they did, however many years ago, and we're not going to let people evolve and grow, how can we expect society to get any better?
Right. Like,
that's
what's
a very quick hot take there.
That is an excellent hot take. I completely co-sign to that, because I mean, what's in it for me? If there's no positive growth allowed, because no matter what I do, I'm still going to be held accountable for something I did years and years and years ago. Not taking into account the person that I am today. That's a pretty sad, desolate existence, man. So I hope we get that changed around, man, because that's not good. But
that's a deeper discussion for another day.
And I think that's a great place to leave it.
All right.
Well said, my brother.
Thanks,
so, everybody, this is my friend Dave. I'm sure I can sweet talk him and get him to come back on a couple more shows at some point. Just got to work out scheduling and stuff like that. But with that said, Dave, thank you for adding some quality content. I'm sure the people that will eventually get a chance to watch this video, because I got to put all the editing together and get it out there. Hopefully they'll find some enjoyment out of it. So
I hope so. And if anybody wants to follow me on Twitter, my Twitter handle is @ManelandDave, ManelandDave. There's a lot of soccer content because that's actually the podcast I do. But there's some other takes here and there on stuff. If you want to follow, great. You can add me there. Also, if you just have any questions.
Yeah, most definitely, guys. Follow this man, the Mainland, on Twitter. You also, if you're there, follow me too. That link is down below. But I'll also put your link down below too, Dave, so that they'll click on you too. But once again, guys, thank y'all for taking a listen, sitting down with us, spending a little time with us, and until the next one, y'all be well.